Welcome to the February the 17th, 1998 pre-taping of a very special history show. This is our history tape number 331. And we're, as you know, it happened in Grand Prairie, and we're just so pleased that you're in our viewing audience to find out the history of our city of Grand Prairie, Texas, and about some of the people that have helped to make that history and that are still making history in our city. We have with us today Mr. and Mrs. Dave Joyner. And first of all, we have beautiful Edith. Edith, welcome to the set. We're so glad to have you with us today.
Thank you, Ruthie.
And Dave, we're glad to have you with us today, young man. Welcome to the set of It Happened in Grand Prairie. We're glad to have you.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. With your permission then, if it's all right with you, Edith, we'll begin with you and do our interview. And this is your camera outside. And would you tell us a little bit about the real Edith Joyner? Yes, where you were born and when, and your parents' names, and etc.
Okay. I was born in Tennessee at the foot of the Appalachian Mountains, just the most beautiful place in the world.
Oh, great.
And my mother and father were Asa, Maine, and May, Maine. And I have had seven sisters and two brothers. And my oldest sister was Neely, and then there was Ida and Marie and me and Rachel and Thelma and Junior and Estelle and Patty. So there's a bunch of us.
Yes, oh, that's wonderful. And what did your parents do for a living?
Well, I guess you'd say they were farmers. Daddy farmed.
Okay.
And Mom was a midwife. She delivered the biggest part of the kids up there.
Yeah, around in that area.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. And with all of these brothers and sisters and working on a farm, did you ever have to do any chores?
Yeah, I did. And I loved all of it.
Yeah.
I milked the cow, and I churned and fixed the butter and cooked, and I mostly did the housework.
Okay.
Instead of, working outside.
Yes.
And now, what else did you ask me?
I wanted to know a little bit more about the younger Edith, when you went to school and where you went to school.
Well, I went to a little 3-room school called Brownlow. It was in Cracker's Neck, still called Cracker's Neck.
And it's called Cracker's Lick?
Cracker's Neck.
Neck. Cracker's Neck.
Cracker's Neck.
Okay.
Prettiest little village you've ever seen. And I attended grade school there. Mm-hmm. You had to start in the 7th grade and in the primer, and you went through the 8th, and then you were ready for high school.
Okay.
And I went to the Mountain City High School.
That's Mount City?
Mountain City.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
And
when you were in grade school and growing up in a pretty nice-sized family, was there anyone real special at school that really did encourage you, that was a mentor or a teacher that was really important to your young life? Would you like to name her?
Jenny Grant Wills.
Okay.
She's the most wonderful person I've ever seen. She was beautiful in every way.
Mm-hmm. And really gave you a lot of encouragement. That is wonderful when you're a young child like that and you find a teacher that really cares about kids. That really does send you off, doesn't it? Oh, yes. Made you want to go to school forever, nearly.
Yeah, right in her room.
In her room and not be promoted to the next grade. Okay. Yeah. And then after elementary school, and then you went on up to Mountain City to school. Were there special memories there of teachers or classmates or someone else that you'd like to remember on this tape?
Well, some guys.
Okay, all right.
There's Frank Grayson, and he's a musician there now, I might add.
Yes.
And there's Brownie and Blackie Blankenbechter.
Yeah.
And I don't remember the others, but I especially remember them. In fact, my sister went up there here a while back. Well, I guess it's about last summer. Mm-hmm. And she saw Frank. His picture's always in the paper. He has a group, and just a real musician. And they just sat there and talked about me the whole time, she said.
That was great. Isn't that wonderful?
Yeah.
Because you were the pretty one. Yeah.
Well, I don't know. There's 2 or 3
Yeah.
pretty ones in school.
Yes. All right. And while we're going to leave you at Mountain City High School, and we're going to talk to Dave just a minute.
Okay.
And then we're going to get back with you. And Dave, would you like to tell me where you were born, young man?
I don't know whether I'd like to or not. I was born at Noxapater, Mississippi.
Noxapater, Mississippi. I think that is so exciting. Mr. Jackson tells me quite frequently, says, let's go to Noxapater, Mississippi, and maybe we'll find Dave Joyner over there. Because you really do love that city, don't you?
That's right.
And you were born there, and would you like to give your parents' names?
My daddy's name was Ed Joyner, and my mother's name was Janie.
Okay, Noxapater. And what did they do for a living, Dave?
Pick cotton.
They pick cotton. All right. Did you ever have to pick cotton when you was a kid?
I started at 6-year-old.
Okay, 6 years old, you started picking cotton.
Yeah, if I'd get 200 pounds a day, I got me switching.
Oh, my. That made you really want to get that 200 pounds, didn't it?
Yeah, we'd get it.
You know, it takes a lot of dry cotton to make 200 pounds. Now, if you could pick it when it was wet, when the dew was still on it, you'd do a lot better, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Okay. And you lived in Noxapater. Where'd you go to school, Dave?
Well, I went to Noxapater there till we moved to the other side of town, and I went to Louisville part of the time.
All right. And at Noxapater, when you went to school there, was there any favorite teachers you'd like to remember or that were real special to you?
Yeah, Miss Bobby Lee Evans. I didn't start to school till I was, I think, 7, 8 years old, and I stayed in the primary till I was 9.
Yes.
On account of I was in love with the teacher, and the teacher liked me pretty good. She wouldn't leave it there.
So that was a good way to stay right in there where that teacher really cared about you, right?
Right, that's right.
Okay, all right. And then after you went across town to Louisville, did you move into the city that caused you to go to Louisville to school, or did y'all just move to the other side of town?
No, we just, part of us moved to the other side of town.
Okay, and how long did you go to Louisville?
I think about 4 or 5 years.
All right. Do you have any special teachers at Louisville that you want to remember, that you fell in love with a teacher or something?
No, I don't particularly remember none that I really liked.
Was there anything special that you liked to do? Did you play sports, or did you really get into your books real good?
Yeah, we got into the books. They'd get in our books, we didn't.
All right. Now, where did you meet this beautiful young lady?
It was Bristol, Tennessee.
In Bristol, Tennessee. What in the world were you doing in Bristol, Tennessee from Noxapater, Mississippi?
Well, I owned a taxi cab company, and I met her. Bristol, Tennessee, one side of the street is Tennessee, and the other side is Virginia.
Oh, it is?
That's right. That's Main Street.
Yes.
And so I was down on one side of the street looking across the street to the other side, and that's where I saw her looking across the street.
Mm-hmm. And you had this cab company, and that's what you did for a living, and did you pursue following her after you saw her across the street, or how did you manage to meet this young lady?
It's just, that's hard to answer. I mean, I was meeting so many people.
Yes, I guarantee it was.
Poor girl, I couldn't find no.
That was it, wasn't it? All right, we're gonna leave you in Bristol, Tennessee for just a minute, and then we're going to get back over here with Edith and let her talk to us about what were you doing in Bristol, Tennessee?
Well, I was working at a place called a Universal.
All right.
And he ran up, I was running from a guy. he was wanting to drive me home while he came, and I didn't know him, so he came up to me and said, "Taxi lady," and I just jumped in that taxi.
Yes.
There's where I met him.
Yes. Well, you know, he rescued you, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
Yes, he surely did. And from there on, it was probably easy street for Dave Joyner, because he knew a beautiful young lady when he saw one, didn't he? Yes,
Well.
that's it. And then you all married?
Yeah.
Where did you get married? In Bristol?
Yeah, Bristol, Virginia.
In Bristol, Virginia. You went across the line over on the
Yeah,
other side and
we
got married
did.
in Bristol, Virginia.
Yeah.
That is great. And do you have a family? You'd like to? I know that you just celebrated your 50th wedding anniversary last year, because I went to your party, and I've never seen such a spread and a big party and everything that you had. So would you like to name your children?
Well, the oldest one, we call him Dee. And then there's Joyce and Debbie and Rebecca and Chris and Greg. Is that 6? I don't think I left any of them out.
And Chris and
Greg.
Greg. And Greg's the one that brought you up here, isn't he?
Yeah.
Greg is a nice little rascal, isn't he? That's great.
Yeah.
All right. And this is what brought you to Grand Prairie, Texas?
Well, we first went to Dallas for just a short time, like a month or so. And then we went to Grapevine. He worked in that, making that dam over there, that big lake.
Yes.
And we stayed there a little while, and then we came to Grand Prairie and bought us a $1,500 house.
Yes. And thought we were living
Yeah.
it up, didn't we? Yes.
And he got a job at Timco.
All right.
And yeah, he's making 75 cents an hour. He thought that was real good wages,
Yes.
and I guess it was back then.
At the time.
So,
What year did you come to Grand Prairie, Texas?
1950.
1950.
Yeah, we were
Okay.
just kids back then.
Yes.
And Grand Prairie was a prairie then.
Yes.
Plattners, you know, they had their place. And they had a cowboy that would graze the cattle down next to Mountain Creek Lake. And the air was so clean, and there was nothing in Grand Prairie. There was a Safeway and Nye's Drug and Mulligan's little grocery store down on 14th Street, and Timco, and then the air base, you know. That was it.
That was about it. That
Yeah.
was about the gist of Grand Prairie.
Yeah.
Dave, when you were working on the dam over in Louisville, what did you do to help build that?
I worked on the dam.
At Grapevine.
We were digging the gravel out, and a lot of it was being used to build the dam.
Okay.
A lot of the gravel was being sent to over here
To be used for building?
yes, the gravel was being sent over here, and the dirt was being put in for building the dam.
Okay. That was quite an experience, wasn't it? From a young man from Noxapater, Mississippi,
oh, sure.
you had come a long way. Did you ever want to go back to Noxapater about every other week, or what?
Well, I wasn't real proud of that.
Do you have a farm in Noxapater?
I got 4 farms over.
Got 4 farms in Noxapater. No wonder he wants to go back there every 3 or 4 days. All right, and tell me about working at Timco. What did you do at Timco?
Hydraulic operation,
Hydraulic operations.
yes.
Yeah, and how long did you work for them?
About 3 or 4 years,
Yeah.
and I went to what was the name of that?
Chanspot.
Yeah,
What'd you do for them? Hydraulics also?
hydraulic operation.
Okay. All right. When did you start the Dave's Wrecker business? Because you have one of the most famous wrecker places on Main Street, because you see Dave's Wreckers going up and down everywhere for lo these many years. Did you operate that yourself, or did you have someone else operate it for you?
I lost sleep myself.
Yes.
I worked 24 hours a day for at least 25 years.
Yes, at least.
Yeah, I think I could add about 5 more years to it. But
Yes. Was that a pretty good business?
that's a good business if you can stand 24 hours a day.
Yes.
Go get them when they call you, or you're in trouble, because if you broke down, somebody's broke down out on the street or road, they want a record. They don't care what time of night it is. And we done right good doing
The
it.
record business has been real good to you, though, because you put enough time and effort into it. Is that the reason you've been such a success?
Yes.
Yes. All right. You still have Dave's Record Shop on East Main. Who's running it for you now?
My youngest son has turned it over to him.
Your youngest son. Okay, that ought to be Greg.
That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's nice and dependable, and you like having it in the family, don't you?
That's right.
Okay. And when you, last year, you went back to Noxapater again for a
Yes.
while,
Yes.
till you got a little bit sick?
Mm-hmm.
But now you're better?
Well, I hope I am.
You look a lot better.
Thank you.
Yes, yes. And that's wonderful. Tell me about Noxapater, Mississippi, why that's so special to you.
Well, it's just something that, you know, when you grow up around a place and realize that it's about the only town that you're going to do a visitation to, it just sort of gets under your skin that you feel at home.
Is it nice and quiet
Oh, plenty,
and peaceful?
absolutely.
What do you farm on the farms? Do you have any crops, any set crops, or do you turn it all over to the cows, or what?
We're running cattle ranching now.
Cattle ranching over there?
Yeah, we got 500 acres in cattle. I got the pastures leased out. We don't raise the cows. The people that I'm leasing it to.
So you don't have a member of the family out there. You've leased it out to someone else, and they're keeping the cattle on it and keeping that farm for you is the main thing.
Well,
isn't
that's
it?
the main thing. We're not planning not getting rid of the farm part of it. We got some houses we'd like to dispose of, something like that.
Good. All right, let's get back to Edith a little while. We won't talk about the kids a little. Let's talk about the kids. Did all of these kids go to Grand Prairie schools? Did they all go to Grand Prairie High School?
Yeah.
None of them went to South. All of them. You've been busy in the PTA and making cookies and going to PTAs and stuff like that for quite some time, haven't you?
I've had a busy life.
Yes. Hadn't it been wonderful?
Yeah, I
Well,
have enjoyed it.
you want to tell me about Dee? Does she have any kids?
It's a guy.
Oh, that Dee is a guy. Okay.
Yeah, he has 2 children,
2 children. You want to name them?
Chase and Dana Shea.
Okay. And do they live in Grand Prairie?
Oh, well, Chase does.
All right. And how about Joyce?
Yeah, she has 4 children.
Do they live in Grand Prairie? Any of them?
Oh, yeah. Her oldest daughter lives in Grand Prairie.
Okay. You want to name them?
Well, there's Madonna and Rachel, and then I call him Tootie, but his name is Alex.
How precious.
He gets mad, if other people call him that, but it's
Yes,
okay for me
for
too.
grandmother to call him
Yeah,
that,
well,
yeah.
really, they just have 3, but her second daughter has her little girl living with her, so
That's
I
fair.
guess you'd say
Yes, that's
they have
fair.
4.
All right. Now, Miss Debbie, I know Miss Debbie very, very well, but I want you to tell me about Debbie's family.
Well, she has 3 sons, Jason, Jeremy, and Josh.
Yes.
And, well,
And she's married to Calvin Chapman.
yeah.
Yes, okay. Now, how about Rebecca?
Well, Rebecca, I think she has a career
All right.
of schooling.
Yes, yes.
She has 2 degrees, 2 college degrees, aviation and computer.
Yes.
And,
She is so cute.
yeah, she is pretty. She's the one that takes us places.
Yes.
She took us to Alaska, about a year ago.
How wonderful.
I could tell you something funny about David, but I guess I better not.
He might not let us do that.
Yeah.
Okay, and Rebecca is not married.
No.
All right, how about Chris?
Well, he, right now he works at Home Depot.
Okay.
And,
Does he have any kids?
No.
No? All right, how about Greg?
Yeah, he has a little boy.
And what's his name?
Gregory Jr.
Gregory Jr.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
He may come in here after a while, but he is the cutest thing. His hair is flaming red, and he is just the smartest little thing that you've ever seen.
Okay.
He goes to the Evangel Temple Christian School.
Oh, that is such a good school.
Yeah,
My
it is.
grandchildren went there. Yes.
That's where Greg went also, Big Greg.
Okay. And all of this time while Dave's been doing the record shop and working on the dam, working at Timco and Chance Vault and LTV and going back and forth to Noxapater, Mississippi, what have you been doing? Being a wonderful mother and housewife.
Well, I've been trying to.
Yes.
And after the kids got bigger, I decided I might go to school for a while.
All right.
So I enrolled at Mountain View College, went a couple of years,
Yes.
and I sang with the gospel singers.
How wonderful.
I was the only white in it, but I learned a lot from them.
Yes, you did. How wonderful.
And art, I love art.
Yes.
And then I haven't done much of anything since.
Yes. Just enjoyed life.
Yeah, I have.
And how about the celebration of this 50th anniversary? Did you ever think that you would make it to that big 5-0?
No, I really didn't. That's a long time.
Yes, that is a long time. Well, that was a beautiful celebration, and you have all of your children to thank for that because
Yeah.
It was really great.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. We
Yes.
did.
Yes. And I believe you live on Wheat Hill Road.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. That is a secluded, wonderful little street that comes right off of Skyline down in that area. And you live down in the trees and everything. Does that remind you, Dave, of Noxapater, Mississippi, living down on Wheat Hill Road?
Yeah, it does. I mean, it's the traffic is, I guess, wide enough for one-way traffic when
That's right.
you're trying to go in or come out, but it's safe. It makes it safer.
Is there anything, Dave, that you would like to say to the young men that may be watching our show about what they need to do to persist in being successful? You are one of the most successful businessmen that we have known in Grand Prairie, Texas. You've been able to make a good living because you've worked hard. You've been able to accumulate things, and that's not important in some sense of the word, but it's a real accomplishment to start out as you did and have come a long way, as the ads say. Would you like to say something to the young people? Anything you'd like to say to them about your persistence in seeking and doing a good business career?
Yeah, I just like to say, if you don't know, don't go.
That's it. Now, if you don't know, don't go.
That's right.
That is a real good motto, isn't it?
I like it.
Yes, yes. And would you encourage any of them to go into any of the kind of businesses that you've been involved in, like driving a taxi and maybe owning your own taxi company, or your own record service, or anything like that? Or would you recommend that they go on to school and then find a business?
Well, I know that to start a business, it's really something.
Yes.
You got to live it to make it work. There's so many more things that I could say that just don't come out when you up front.
Well, your record business was down in the neighborhood on East Main, across, I believe it was across from Rosie's restaurant. Remember Rosie that used to be down there, that when you went in to buy breakfast, and you'd go in and order breakfast, and she'd bring you whatever she wanted you to have for breakfast. And she was wonderful.
Yeah.
We would go in and we would order sausage and eggs, but that wasn't what was on the menu that morning. Rosie would bring you whatever, but you had a bunch of good neighbors down there working with you, like Mr. Nichols had his generator shop near
Right.
yours, didn't he?
Right.
Johnny Paramore had his business down nearby. Were some of the others you'd like to remember down in that area that kind of helped you with your business?
Yeah, I'd like to say that Mr. Nichols, generator man, he was one of the finest men that I ever met. I mean, he passed away and he left his business to one son, and he just disposed of the business this last 2 or 3 months. He sold it to somebody.
Mm-hmm.
But he was a fine man.
He was Mr. Nick Nichols.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're right across the road, almost from Graf Chevrolet.
Yes.
Is where we're located now. Just maybe 2 or 3 businesses separate us. That's about it.
Yes. Very fine man, wasn't he?
He sure was.
Good influence on the business community in that area. We've lost some real special young men there. We lost Mr. Graff last year, and of course, a few years before that, we lost Mr. Nick Nichols, and the changing scene that comes along all the time, doesn't it?
That's right.
Yes.
Yeah, Mr. Graham, you know, across the street.
Yes, Mr. Graham with his
And-
automotive place. Mm-hmm.
Mr. Simmons, we used
Yes.
to go to church with him till he passed.
Mhm. And you attend what church?
Well, at the moment, I'm not going to church because he's not
Yes.
able
Mhm.
to go, but we've gone to Baptist Temple for years.
For years. Oh,
On Third
that's
Street.
wonderful. Well, that's great. Well, all of your children are real great testimonies of a real great family that's held together and worked hard and really come a long way. I'm kind of excited about this Noxapater, Mississippi thing, though. I think we ought to get Dave well enough real soon so that we can get him out there in the springtime when the leaves start changing and
Yeah.
everything starts. Do you think you're going to be ready for that, Mr. Dave?
Well, I'm ready for it. Physically, I'm not. Mentally, I would have to be there today. But
Yes. But you're going to eat some more Wheaties and all the good things and take those pills on time, and we're going to get ready and go back to
Absolutely.
Mississippi, aren't we?
That's right.
We'll take
Yes.
you with us.
Yeah, all right. Well, I want to thank you all so very much. Is there anything special that you'd like to say to the young ladies, since you're such a genteel lady yourself and have raised this wonderful family? Would you look out to your camera and just tell them anything you'd
Well,
like to tell
I
them?
think you should put your family first, your husband and your children, and take care of them.
Yes, that's wonderful.
That's just the way I've always done, and I think everybody else should do it.
Now you have all of these wonderful grandchildren. Do you have any great grandchildren yet?
Yeah, got two,
All right, you better name them.
Sarah and Jennifer.
Sarah and Jennifer are your great grandchildren.
Uh-huh.
Well, you have 2 and I have 5, so we're running.
yeah.
Yes, and
I was forgetting Wildcat. that's Debbie's.
Debbie's Wildcat.
Grayson.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, that
I
is
was
wonderful.
forgetting him. You know, when you have so many, you kind of forget them.
You have to really watch it to keep them
Yeah.
all together, don't you? Well, I want to thank y'all for sharing your life. Dave and Edith Joyner, y'all are just real special to Grand Prairie, Texas. You're special to a lot of families that remember how many times you've been up real late at night bringing that record down to get us out of trouble when we needed you, and also to support many things that we've had going on in our city.
Appreciate you
Yeah,
so
thank
much.
Thank you. Y'all are just really, really, really wonderful. Thank you
Thank you, honey.
for leaving a heritage of a wonderful family and a great mark.
Oh,
And this
thank
is
you.
Ruthie Jackson reminding you that history is as we live and do.